Well, welcome to the September 18th meeting of the Northborough Historic District Commission. My name is Bob Light, the chair. Pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act relative to the extending certain COVID-19 measures, this meeting will be conducted via remote participation. No in-person attendance by members of the public will be permitted. The order allows the Historic District Commission to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. All members of the Historic District Commission are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to the Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. This meeting will not feature public comment. Each vote taken this evening will be conducted via a roll call vote. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Brian Smith.
Aye.
Leslie Harrison.
Here.
Millie Milton.
Here.
Lorna Van Dorn.
Here.
And Brian Swanson.
Here.
Okay, thank you all. Okay, so the first item of the agenda is that we have a new applicant as an alternate member of the Historic District Commission. His name is Rudiger Volk, Dr. Rudiger Volk, or we're calling him Rudy. And I did invite him to the meeting just as an introduction. He's not officially approved yet. I think he has to go, there's an interview process and approval by the select board. So we're still waiting on that. But he did send in a very interesting application. I'm not sure if anyone knows him, but he does have a historic home on East Main Street. And he was very involved in actually creating an historic district in Boston. So he's very knowledgeable about the procedures for preservation planning and historic districts.
Oh, wow.
It was he was involved as a private citizen in the Frederick Douglass Square Historic District located in Roxbury.
Interesting.
Yeah, very knowledgeable, and
Could be.
I'm sure when he does attend, he can give you some more background on his experience.
Yeah, it'd be good to hear.
So at this point, I don't know. It might have to wait until the next select board meeting before he can be approved. Okay. So next item is the prior meeting minutes. I sent everything around with some edits. Are there any corrections or other edits in the minutes? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from August 21st, I believe?
So moved.
So move.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Good. Okay. Brian Smith.
I concur.
Leslie Harrison.
Approved.
Millie Milton.
Approved.
Brian Swanson.
Approved.
And I approve. And the minutes pass. Thank you very much. Brian, I will send that into the clerk.
Thank you.
Okay, old business. Remember the Brigham Street burial ground. This is falls under a CPA project, and that had been essentially completed. But we were waiting to see if there's going to be any money left over in the fall, because we were talking about possibly planting trees or putting a chain fence around the actual burial sites. So it turns out I checked with Scott Charpentier, and we have about $7,000 left. So Unfortunately, that would not be enough for a granite chain fence around the 5 gravestones or 4 gravestones. But he said it would allow for a granite post and a plaque, maybe a bronze plaque, and maybe a few trees, or we have it go all the way, just make trees instead. So I wanted to get a sense for you because I want to get back to Scott. And if I just want, I went over there today and so
Yeah, I went recently too.
I'm sorry.
I went recently as well.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to point out a few things that, in helping make our decision. One second here. Okay, so. Okay, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's right now on the street. So we already have a stone and a plaque. And then we also. Then we have the big plaque here.
Mm.
And of course, the sign. So according to the stone plaque, there are supposedly 5 graves still with headstones. And I could find, this is basically, there's 3 headstones here with footstones. And I believe right here is the 4th gravestone.
Hmm.
And then there is okay, so that's another view
Oh, yeah.
showing what I think is the 4th one. And then the 5th one is off. Wait a second. Okay, and then this is the 5th one right here. And then you can
Oh,
see the
yeah.
other 4
Yeah.
there. So I think we've accounted for all 4 gravestones. So if we were to do a fence, if we had the money, it would be around these 4 gravestones here.
So not the 5th one then.
I don't see how we could, well, I don't think we even have money to do it around these.
Yeah.
So it would have to be some sort of a plaque. So I'm wondering if maybe we should just put all the money into trees.
So when I was there, I mean, it's obvious where those are and that they're grave sites. I guess what I was kind of thinking of was the reverse, is to mark somehow the area where we have confirmed graves, but where it's not obvious by looking at it.
You mean where the stones are on the ground?
Yeah.
The wolf stones, I think they call them.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah, but some of them, I mean, so we had the GPR, so we know where there are graves. So I just wonder if would be some way to mark that in some way to say
Somehow.
this is where
Yeah.
this is where the other one, as opposed to where the one obvious. More of them are not obvious. So just thinking of.
Because we don't know who they are. We just know that they are there, correct?
Well, we have so if you look at the Bob, can you bring up the interpretive sign again?
There's a list of names, but we don't know which, or do we know where each one is?
Well, it's on there. So there's confirmed, suspect. There are like 3 different categories.
Yeah.
Or 2 or 3.
Yeah. Remember you did this like 3 years ago, right, Leslie?
It's been a while. Well, I mean, I didn't collect the information. It came from Beth Finch McCarthy.
Mm.
I'm just the editor. So yeah, Norm and I worked on it together.
Yeah.
Is this what you meant?
Yeah.
Leslie, is
Yeah,
this
so if
what
you
you
look, can you
wanted?
blow, yeah, can you blow up the table on the right?
Yes. Oh, the table on the right. Oh, boy.
Yep. Oh, nice.
There we go. Yeah. So there, so it's yeah, probable, possible, and known. And then there's a whole oh, maybe there's not a map though. And the other in Howard Street, there's actually a map of where
Right. So I didn't think this one had a
this
designation.
does not have a
where each
map.
one
Does it have
was.
any-
This has a map, but it's just showing where the,
the corner markers were. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the map.
So I think it would be kind of nice to have an idea of where that area is, to have that kind of, to your point, Leslie, is we know they're there. We just don't know. It's not marked.
But we had the GPR done, right? So we should know.
Right. But there's no fence or anything that has.
Right. Yep. But I
Yeah.
think we do know where they are, where the active
Mhm.
burial, where the burial sites were. I mean, it's right on the, it's kind of on the, if you took what's fenced off now, or that
Mhm.
it's probably the left side. I think we've kind of figured out the left side is,
Right. But
What's
I guess what I'm asking is, would you happen to know which one belongs to Ezekiel Fay?
oh, God, no.
No,
Oh,
I
mean, the
didn't think so.
the ones that are marked, you can. I mean, they're
Right. Right.
like Wheeler. I mean, I took some pictures when I just went recently too. I went with a friend, a friend was in town. She loved cemeteries. We had a little extra time, so I took her to the Howard Street Cemetery and I showed her our beautiful sign, and the sign was filthy. So I went back the next day with my Windex and rags and I cleaned it up. So I thought I'm going to go to the Brigham Street one, but the Brigham Street one is more vertical. It's not as horizontal. Plus
Yeah.
it's trees over it. So that one was clean. But while I was there, I walked around and I did take some photos. So yeah, there's Wheeler and phone. So the ones that I saw were Aaron Wheeler, Joseph Wheeler, and then here lies the Elizabeth Wheeler.
Was one of these three?
Yeah, I think the Wheelers, I think the ones on the back, left in the back, those are the two Wheeler, the little one, the kids.
Hmm.
And then, so those aren't footstones for this. Those are actually headstones.
Oh, these are headstones?
Those little ones are, yeah, definitely the one where your corner is now. That's one of the wheel. I'm pretty sure when I was approaching it, the two on the right, I think were the Wheelers. I didn't take
Oh.
pictures of all of them.
I thought they were footstones.
I don't think so. I think you can read them.
Well, if that's the case, then we have more than 5 gravestones.
Unless some are footstones. So I took pictures of 3. Here lies buried the body of, I think it's the one in the middle. Can you blow that one up? I think that's the one it's got like a white, oh no, it's the left one because it has a white line coming down through it. The left one. I don't know if you can see
Right.
Oh, yeah.
there's a white line. So I took a picture of the left one, which is here lies the body of Elizabeth Wheeler.
I can't.
Yeah. So there are definitely 3 here. And then there are definitely 2 on the other side.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it just looked like those are footstones. I thought
Yeah.
someone
Now you
told
can
me-
see how, can you see this at all on my phone or not?
No, it's really just shining bright.
I have to stop sharing, Shay.
No, I think it's just. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it's,
Hi, Amanda. You're on mute.
I can get an angle without actually, if I turn my light off, I can it's probably the background light. But yeah, it says Aaron Wheeler, but it's tiny. They were little.
Huh. Yeah. Okay.
So I can see where they would be confused for footstones, but the engraving on it is very clear.
Hmm.
Here, let me try to turn my light. Hang on 1 second. Mostly to show my screen. They're on my phone, not my screen.
Hmm.
Halloween here. Any better?
Oh, yeah, that is better. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Joseph Wheeler.
So that's one of the little ones.
Yeah.
Aaron Wheeler.
Aaron. Yeah.
So those are the little ones on the backside.
So sad.
And then, yeah, this is the one with the white line.
Yeah.
And then that was it. I just took a picture so I don't know. I just took pictures of the 3. I didn't take all of them that I could read, but
Okay.
Anyway.
Hmm. Well,
Kind of
so
like
I
going
think,
dark.
I think the question is, should we have some, if we can afford just a post and a plaque, is it worth doing in addition, or do we want to just do trees?
Do trees like plantings of trees or?
Right,
Yeah.
it's pretty bare right now, and there's been questions about why the trees were taken down. They were all diseased, so we'd have to plant some nicer trees. I'm not sure how many, does anyone have an idea of how many trees you can get for $7,000?
Mm,
And how mature they are, right?
yeah.
So, I mean, so we had also talked about kind of demarcating it and not, because a lot of it is, we know is not burial ground. Like, I think we figured out the right half is not burial ground. So there was talk about maybe we could have Ally from the rec department take a look and see if she has any ideas for, I mean, I don't think you'd want something like a soccer field there. You don't want soccer balls going into it. But there could be a park. I mean, there could be, who knows what kind of, more passive recreation kind of.
Yeah, it sounds like I just I was hoping that we'd have enough money to have some sort of a chain around the existing graves, at least the four or that the graves around that one tree.
Can we bank the
five-
money and?
Pardon?
Can we bank the money and apply it to, we can put in a CPA request too, right? We don't have any, we haven't talked about CPA requests.
Right. Well, this was CPA, but
Right, but I mean to add on to, right, I mean, I hate to just use money for the sake of, unless it's a use it or lose it. But this isn't, I don't think this money dries up.
that's a good point. Yeah, I don't. It's not like ARPA, so it could be. All right, maybe I should just follow up a little bit with Scott and get some more ideas.
I think it is worth asking Ally just for her thoughts too.
Allie?
The rec
Ally.
director.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion. I don't know what other folks think, but
I mean, I can't grasp what size of a parcel that is.
it's decent size. I mean, it's pretty big. Well, probably the GIS
But
map
it's pretty
shows it.
barren, isn't it? There's,
Yeah, well, that's why I'd hesitate to put trees in, like if there's an idea of something to do with it, where trees would
Right.
actually be an obstruction.
yeah.
Even if we just have like a walking path, like they do at like in the town common. So people aren't like, oh, there's just this big, vacant lot.
Right.
You know,
Walking path and some maybe in some benches or yeah.
Yeah, bench would be interesting. You could have a bench by the gravestones.
yeah.
I personally think that's kind of a nice idea because I can tell you there have been times when I've gone to visit, people that have passed and feel awkward just standing there sometimes when I'm trying to process things or, just reflect.
Okay, that's not. I don't know if how everyone feels, but a little granite. Now, it might be that might be too expensive, but I can check. So a granite bench because I'm not sure we really need any more markers because we already have
No,
those
I don't think so. I
three
agree.
markers. There's a lot of information there, so I don't think
Yeah.
we can repeat ourselves by the gravestones.
Yeah.
Is it worth cleaning the marker that's there, the old one? It's pretty got a lot of copper staining and it's kind of hard to read.
Which one are you talking about?
The one on the
big one
stone.
with-
The old one
the
on the stone.
It's funny
Yeah.
because I kind of like that look.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, there's that
Kind
too.
of
Yeah.
fits a,
I mean, it was readable.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, let's table this since there's no real rush. I just want to get a feel. I'll get back to Scott and get a feel for how many trees he can do for that amount of money and whether we can have a bench, a granite bench. Okay?
Yeah.
Hey. All right. Thank you. Let's move on. The Howard Street National Register, no word on that. I'll try to follow up. I think it's due for me to follow up on that. Leslie, anything about the warped cemetery signs? Did you?
You saw my email. I'm sick of
Yeah.
being the one to email him. If you could take a stab at it, he just ignores the emails. It's ridiculous. It's been, when did I send it? I sent it, well, it's been a month.
So he never responded. Okay.
That's what he does. He ignores them, and then he responds by saying, "Yep, we're taking care of it." And then it just,
All right, I'll find the last email and I'll just send it to
it was
him.
the day of the last meeting. That was the date of it.
Right, okay.
I sent it during the meeting.
And you're sure it's the right email address, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just checking.
Unless he changed his email address just to get
Yeah.
away from us. He probably has a spam filter on my email. Oh,
Okay.
Rudiger's here. Rudy's here.
Yes.
Oh,
Hi,
nice.
Rudy.
Hello.
You're on mute.
Yeah, hello. Yes.
Hi.
Sorry,
How are
sorry
you?
for my late appearance. Watched a little bit online, but
Well,
Change the email.
we'll go back to the first part of the agenda. I did introduce you. I gave a little bit of background. We still have to wait. I'm not sure where the status is right now on the application, but I think it has to go through the select board for approval.
hello. Yes. Hello. Sorry for my
So-
late appearance. I watched a little bit online, but
Well,
Oh.
we'll go back to the first part of the agenda. I did introduce you. I gave a little
Something,
bit of
I'm getting
background.
feedback here.
We still have to wait. I'm not sure where the status is right now on the application, but I think it has to go through the select.
hello. Yes. Hello. Sorry for
I don't know if he has a phone. so he's listening to it.
Rudy, are you on
Can
your
you-
phone or something?
Yeah, Rudy, can you stop that or?
I did introduce you. I gave something. I'm getting.
Okay.
Okay, hopefully.
I believe he had his, he had
Rudy, can you
the
hear me?
video on in the background.
Yeah, the live stream was going, yeah. Yep. Or he was playing a playback of it, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, the video, the recording. Oh, well.
I believe.
Rudy, can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you. I have a double, so I have on YouTube this on. Probably I switch off the YouTube. I will
Yeah,
switch
that's what take
off
take that
YouTube,
off.
and then I'm on Zoom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you want to introduce yourself and we're all here.
But you're on mute.
You're on mute.
There you go.
Okay, yes. So, small introduction. Is it better? Do you understand
Yes.
me? Okay. I'm Rüdiger Volk. I live here since 5 years now in Northborough. One of the oldest, I think we have 13 leftover houses from the 18th century. So I have in Patterson Collins house from 1760. And I was always interested in the historical things. In Boston, 1994, I bought my first house, and 1997, I put the whole neighborhood under historical landmark district. It's the Federal Douglass Historical Landmark District in Boston with 2 other neighbors. It's a substantial working class neighborhood, and so I'm dedicated to preserve history. I think. That's my intention. Otherwise I gave talks, one small one at the Historical Society of Northborough, but otherwise in Jamaica Plain and South End about the neighborhood, which I put under historical commission, under historical landmark protection. And otherwise I'm hopefully dedicated and also definitely interested to preserve history, even with my own assets
Mhm.
this is my thinking always, and not asking the government to do something, but more maybe what we can do.
Did you have, what would you say your
And
experience?
particular also my intention is my intention is what I see is not the money. I don't understand the money issue always. I think laws, just laws, that's a signature to protect assets. No? So allowing that. So I have example from the South End, for example, historical society, where they have very restrict guidelines. And the Bates School, for example, they allowed that they built around the old Bates School in South End new houses. So they left the old Bates School intact and allowed surrounding development. And I think that would be a solution by itself. No? That developers should be prevented to tear down houses, but to build around it. So policy. That's my intention. Yeah. Otherwise, I come from Germany and will be from historical areas. My family goes to 1720 traced back, and so I'm also in family area and have values in the historical manners. Yeah. So thank you for joining you all.
Well, thank you. And as I explained to Rudy, that as an alternate member has full, basically, he can basically contribute to all the deliberations. The only issue is he just can't vote for now. So, but in terms of taking up some of the workload and participation, everything else is all the same between alternate and the voting members. We're just by the bylaws, can only have 7 voting members at one time. Okay, well, thank you, Rudy. And
one small answer, for example, is the trees. There's no money issue. I bought from the New Hampshire nursing facilities from the state running trees for $1. And these are native trees. No? So native trees. This is
really?
This is not no. For example, everybody can buy for $1 trees. These are small seedlings, but they will grow later on big ones.
Yeah, well, we would normally, and I know there's been talk about trees for the downtown revitalization program, and I know they've been talking about how large the trees should be when they buy them, and there's a lot of issues about maintenance and whether we can keep them alive if they're too small. So, but I would probably yield that to to Scott. So I will check with him about how many trees we can get and what else we can use the money for.
Years ago, slight aside, but years ago, we donated to the Arbor Foundation. It's probably 40 years ago. It was like 10 free trees. I pictured like a truck pulling up in our driveway to drop off these trees. It was a little tube with little twigs and.
Okay, next, after the CPA project status, we have the Lyman Street Farm Community and Native American Trail historic markers. That was being done by the what is it, the DCAMM. And again, there's no progress on that yet. I think they're still waiting on the Native American marker. So I will try to follow up with that, but that's out of our control right now. Okay, moving on to committee representation. We have Leslie, the CP Community Preservation Committee.
Nothing's going to be happening until, no news right now.
When are the new proposals due?
Typically, it's in November, December timeframe, but we haven't we haven't discussed it at all at this point.
Okay, Millie, the Master Plan Implementation Committee?
Yeah, we actually didn't have a meeting between last historic district and tonight. Our next meeting is actually tomorrow night. Just because of the way the third Wednesday fell in the month. So we no change since the last one, which was basically the discussion on the dams.
Right.
And some of the downtown Lake Street improvement options.
I did get some more information on the the dam issue. What the only dam they're talking about is the old reservoir dam in Shrewsbury, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that one is, I think that is a risk, and they're also trying to get funding for that, if I understand correctly. So it could be several years before that gets taken down.
yeah, there were two others that I think were yellow, two green, and that one was a red one as far as safety and hazard and urgency. So, that's the way the state had them, delineated as a sense of urgency.
So right now, that's the only dam that's being considered.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Okay. There's the Cold Harbor and the Hot Brook Dam,
Yeah.
I believe, are controlled by the state, and those are actually for floodplain control. So I don't
Yeah.
think that would be taken down at any time, and it would be out of our control anyway.
And that's kind of what it was what was being revealed was that some of it is really not in our control anyways, as far as it's under, the state division of conservation.
Right. And there, we have one dam on Macris. It's the Asbit River Dam
Hmm.
on Hudson Street. I think that's the only dam on Macris. Okay. All right, next on the agenda would be the Revolution 250. So we did submit a grant proposal to the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism,
Oh, good.
and it was an $18,000, roughly $18,500 grant proposal for the celebration for the Minutemen next year, next April probably, plus getting some colonial uniforms and a few other odds and ends. Unfortunately, we just heard they listed the award winners. We were not on the list. I was the point of contact. I still haven't heard an official word yet that we didn't get the grant, but I assume we did not. So the committee, this is the Revolution 250 committee. I think we'll be talking a little bit with Lori Connors about this, about possible other funding sources, possibly ARPA. So we'll see. And there's a possibility too that we might be able to do the Revolutionary War Memorial under ARPA funding, or maybe CPC funding. I'm planning to put in a proposal for CPC. In other news, we have our logo finished, and we're planning to join with the Northborough Historical Society booth at Apple Fest and have some handouts. And I can show you. Let's see here. Can you see that? There's our logo. And this is going to be a handout. It shows all the significant events of Northborough during the Revolutionary period. Okay, I do have a motion. If you remember, we increased our budget this fiscal year from $500 to $1,000, more in line with some of the other commissions. And one of my justifications for doing that was because of the activity under Revolution 250, which was more of an ad hoc type committee, that we would have certain expenditures of that committee, and I put in the extra $500 as justification. I would like to get an authorization to expend a total of $75.51 for the banner, some ties, and some cards. So I was able to get a $15 discount by giving them my name and allowing them to send me text messages. So can I have a motion to approve the sum of $75.51 for the Northborough Revolution 250 banner, zip ties, and cards?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Oh,
Okay. And now a roll call. Brian Smith,
Uh, uh, I,
that we're voting on the approval of the funds.
yeah,
Leslie Harrison,
aye.
Amanda,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Ryan Swanson,
Aye.
and I vote in the affirmative. So that motion passes. Thank you. All right, next is the Fire Station Building Committee, and Tom is not here. So I don't know if anyone else has any updates. One thing that came up is the stone wall issue again.
Mm.
And at the last meeting, Tom had mentioned that he felt only about 400 to 500 linear feet would have to be removed of a total of about 1,900 linear feet for the stone wall. From what I heard is that there is no budget to move the stone wall and there's no use for it in the DPW, so that could change. And one of the things I suggested to Julianne Hirsch in the select board was that if we could just move the stones beyond the existing stone wall and leave them there, and if we cannot find a use for it in DPW, that this town could offer free stones to anyone that wanted to come and pick them up. But that would, to me, would be more economical because they would stay within the by the fire station in the wooded area, and they wouldn't have to be transported somewhere else. So that's still being discussed, and I will update you next time.
Is there any type of idea of what area that 400 or 500 feet would be?
It's the area, would be the area closest to the building, would have to be moved to accommodate the building. It's probably the one there. I think there's, if I remember correctly, there's stone walls up on a hill, and I think
Right.
that's
Kind of goes
I
up and
think
back.
that's beyond where they have to move, but apparently there's a stone wall closer to the road that would have to be moved. I went over there a long time ago and I don't quite remember exactly, and I'm not really sure where the footprint of the building is going to go.
Yeah, just curious. Okay.
But it just seems like it's a waste of stone. Someone's got to move it, and it's got to be budgeted to take it away, because you either have to cart it away somewhere or just move it into the woods.
Hmm.
So
The Historical Society had a presentation, probably a couple years now, of a man that built stone walls like that. I
Mhm.
wonder if we could, if like Ellen or Norm or someone would have that have his name, if he would be interested in them, or if he would know someone that would be interested in taking them off property and doing something with them.
that I think was what we were hoping, was that if there was no use for them, that we would open it up to residents. But that's a good idea. If a person, I mean, for example, if a person wanted to cart them away and then offer to services of building a stone wall for people, that they could do that.
Yeah.
As long as the DPW doesn't find any use for it, because it would be town property.
Mm-hmm.
So I could follow up a little bit on that.
Would we have any idea of when that stone wall was built? Would it be considered historic if it was not built that long ago? I just was curious.
Yeah, the I don't know, but there is a bylaw about stone walls, but it only applies to scenic roads. And Main Street is not a scenic road. So
Huh.
that's why I didn't think that it would fall under any preservation.
Okay.
We have certain marked scenic roads in Northborough. And if there was a stone wall there, you couldn't widen the road without, without some sort of a preservation plan for the stone wall.
Right, and these stone walls are in the back anyway, right? I don't think that would even,
And they're in the back, and even
They
if it
are
was-
in the back,
yeah,
yeah.
it's only,
yeah,
it's
they're
only the
not,
street.
and,
Yeah,
and again, Main Street is not a scenic road.
right.
Last
You're
I looked.
kidding.
it
I
was.
think it is. Come on.
Okay, so that's that. Anything else on committee representation? That's not on our list, okay? All right, moving on to new business. Apple Fest is this Saturday, the Blake Street Fair is this Saturday. You know, the old kitchen in the town hall was totally removed. They moved all of our files and all of our banners and everything else into storage. So it's supposed to come back at some point, but I was over there today and it's still not back. So we don't have any banners or handouts or anything like that. But I do have the banner for the Revolution 250, and we have handouts for Revolution 250. So I plan on being at the Northborough Historic Society booth for part of the day, just for handouts, and I can try to represent the Historic District Commission at that point too.
Thank you.
And of course, anyone else wants to come by, you're welcome.
I'll be there from 7 o'clock in the morning until,
Oh yeah, that's right, you will.
Hmm.
Okay, next is Legacy Tree. I will update you. I do need to get that Legacy Tree proposal in this year. The only thing I need to do now is measure the circumference of the tree at White Cliffs and then do the proposal. No, nothing to report there. We talked about 9 and 13 Church Street. So again, we're still waiting for any demolition request. And when that comes, we will have 30 days to have a public comment meeting, which I will then schedule. On 206 South Street, Amanda sent me some information. Amanda, about the new owner and the listing on Zillow. Amanda, did you have any comments about that or?
No, I honestly, I don't even,
Yeah.
I know I sent that stuff to you and I don't remember.
Right, no, I have
woman's
the
name or anything,
owner's
but yeah.
name. So the question before the commission is there anything we should do at this point? Brian, is there a form preservation letter? Something to welcome the new owner?
Yeah, basically it's kind of a form. Also, I think that we included some of the Macris information when we sent that out to the owner in
Okay, I did print out the Macris file on that property.
Sometimes it gets confusing because sometimes it's being bought by a developer or somebody who's going to make
Okay.
renovations to it, not always in the most historically accurate sense.
Okay, well, I do have the name of the person who bought it, so I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's a developer.
Okay. I mean, I could put together a draft of like what we did before and let's
Yeah,
take a
just
look at it.
congratulations on buying a historic home, and
That's basically all it is. Yep.
you have some other boilerplate in there. If you don't mind, Brian, does this come from you?
And actually, you sign it. I shouldn't say that. With your predecessor, he used to sign it. So I think that's the way it would probably be done.
Well, if you I have the letterhead. here too. So I can print it out. So if you send it to me, I can just print it out and sign it and I'll mail it.
I'll draft something and see what it looks like.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay.
I also noticed a sale pending sign on the Startbrook farmhouse.
Yep.
I haven't actually looked anything up yet for that, but
Really, I thought that was sold or just recently.
it sold to a flipper.
That's what
Oh.
I'm
Looked it
saying.
all up and she doubled the price. So it looks like it's for sale. It looks like it's potentially being like the sale is actually pending now. It's been a while. She's had it listed for quite a while.
Okay. Well,
So-
I guess we'll wait till the sale
I'll
goes.
Yeah, I'll try and keep my eyes on that.
Amanda, if you could do that, keep your eye on that, and that's a historic property too.
Yeah.
What's the address, Amanda? you know?
That I'm not sure. I can look it up right
I-
quick though.
We talked about that before. I don't remember it right now.
I think it's 145 Main Street. Could it be? Is this the right
It is Main Street, but
number?
might be.
House number?
Let's see, where's that?
I have
145.
photos from before and after renovation, so a whole set of it.
That's where the barn was that was torn down. The
Correct.
historic brick barn.
453 Main Street, does that sound right?
That sounds right.
The White House?
Yeah, probably because 459 is also for sale, which is also part of that same property.
So it says it's under agreement, it's supposed to close on October 22nd.
Okay.
Oh,
It's good having a realtor on the board.
Helpful.
Yes.
okay. So we'll keep an eye on that too. That might be another cause for a letter once we know the sale. Okay, next. Yeah, the Trinity Street Church, we were talking about possibly trying to create a historic district. I think the direction they're going in right now is to apply for CPA funds. And they're going to be developing a preservation restriction similar to the preservation restriction on the Unitarian Church. So I am meeting with them next week to get some more details, and they've requested with the CPA request, they're going to need a letter of support from the Historic District Commission. So they've requested to come to our meeting in October and present their plan. So I just want to let you know that that will be on the agenda. I will probably have a little more information when I meet with them next week. I believe that the CPA request could actually include any consultant fees for creating the preservation restriction. In terms of the historic district that we were talking about, I think that might be on hold for a while. That would be a much bigger effort to create a historic district around them, because you have to have basically a plan. You have to form a committee to write the plan and then send it into the state. So I think from a timing point of view, it makes more sense to do the preservation restriction first and apply for CPA funds. I will probably have more next week, in the next meeting. I sent something around about the Mass Historical Commission workshops. There was one that I went to last week, and it was basically on the Mass Historical Commission has a survey and planning grant in which they will give 50% match to towns that do like historic house survey, but they only pay 50% of the cost. Now, we've already done that, but it's something to keep in mind for the future that these funds might be available at a 50% cost share. And They also will do 50% cost share for preservation plans. Again, we already have one, and also National Register applications. And there are 3 more seminars coming up. If anyone lost my email or wants to look at it again, let me know. And the Preservation Massachusetts Annual Preservation Conference is going to be on Friday, the 27th in Worcester. I'm signed up to go to that, and several other people in the town are going to be going. I think someone from Select Board and the Planning Board will be going. Okay, next thing. Okay, so now we're at the point of other, and I had a couple other things that popped up recently. 49 Church Street is in the historic district, and it looks like they just painted the house. It looks really nice. So I can show you. Here it is. Doesn't
Oh,
it look
wow.
nice?
Does.
That's right at the it's on Church Street, but it's at the intersection of that get the name of the street that
Howard
Was
Street.
it-
Howard,
Oh, Howard, okay.
right by the church. So anyway, it looks very nice. That's a historic house. Let's see, that was the Dr. Joseph Allen House and School from 1918, and it was a library, a parsonage, a private school, and a single-family dwelling. So the question now, again, this is for Brian, is it appropriate for us to do a letter of appreciation to the owner?
We have done that on occasion.
Okay. Brian, if I could ask you, it's 49 Church Street.
Mhm.
I don't have the owner's name, but we could look it up on the
That-
town site. I could look it up. If you have a draft letter of appreciation,
Okay.
because this is in the historic district. And then lastly, the that street name bylaw came up recently with the planning board. There was a new street that was off of West Street that was actually turned out to be a private right-of-way driveway of some sort. And therefore, it was felt that the bylaw for street naming did not fall under that restriction. But I did get a question from Mitch Cohn at the select board about whether we should. My suggestion, I think, is that if a street is going to have a street sign and be marked on a map, then maybe it should have some historic significance when it's being named. So in any event, just want to let you know that there might be a change in the bylaw which would give us control over the street naming for some of the private ways that go up. There was one recently, there was a recent private way off of Ridge Street by the lake, by Bartlett Pond. And I don't know, that was like Lakeview or something that they gave the name. But again, the reasoning for giving it a street name is to help out the emergency services.
Mhm.
Because if it's listed as West Street, it's more difficult for them to find. So that makes sense. The only issue is if a private developer wants to give a street a name, they probably should provide some sort of justification for where the name came from, to make sure there's no issues with the neighbors. Some of the neighbors might complain if it's not a very nice name. So anyway, more to come on that. I think I'll just let the select board decide how they want to handle that. But my suggestion is that there should be some justification for a name, even if it's a private way. Okay. Oh, wow. Any other issues before the commission? Parting thoughts? Complaints? Yes.
Yeah, so I have on my concern is, I don't know if this is on your concern, is I think 141 Brigham Street. It's one of the 1792 built house. It was a foreclosure. Only to make aware, is the commission aware about the house or not? It has a
141 Brigham?
name. I forgot the name of a famous residence, of course. It was a foreclosure, and I worry if a developer comes in and buys it and tear it down or whatever will happen to this.
Mm,
Well, if it's 100 years old and it's historically significant, then the only thing we could do is have a demolition delay. But it would have to go through the building department. And then the building department would have the Historic District Commission sign off on it.
Okay. Also, it's from 1792.
1792.
wow.
So that's the age of the house, 17. So it's one of the 18th century houses here in town, on Brigham Street, 141, I think.
Okay, I'll look
141.
that up on the Macris.
Yeah.
Rudy, you're familiar with Macris, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
familiar. The other sorry for my own thing. That's only the rules. I want to, in my own house, 1760, I want to re-establish an old entrance. What is the procedure? Can I do it as I wish, or should I go
You're on
to
East
this
Main Street. That's not part of the historic
committee
district.
out of my? No, it's not.
Yeah, so because you're not part of the historic district, then renovations would not go before the commission.
Okay.
I mean, there would be obviously a demolition delay
No.
procedure, but it would, it would not be, it would not be something that we would control. Obviously, you'd have to go through the building department.
Okay.
Okay. I thought this would be a longer meeting, but that's right on time. Anything else? Okay. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
How about next meeting, Bob?
Oh, sorry. The next meeting is going to be October 16th, 7 p.m. I'll do a Zoom meeting, and as I said, we will have the Trinity Church guests for that meeting. And at this point, it doesn't look like it will be a public comment meeting at this point, but we'll see.
Great.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Good seeing
Yeah,
everyone.
thank you. Good meeting, Bob. Thank
Did
you.
we adjourn yet?
We'll see you maybe on Apple Fest, or have a good Apple Fest week.
I don't think we did the adjournment, actually.
Right.
Oh,
I move that we adjourn.
thank you.
Second,
Second. Okay, and we have to go through the roll call here. Brian Smith,
I,
Brian Swanson,
Aye.
Amanda Millette,
Aye.
Millie Milton,
Aye.
Leslie Harrison,
aye.
and I vote aye, so we are adjourned. Thank you very much.